And now, here is your pandemic news report.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Pandemic News Report. And you see it on the screen right now. The CDC gets pressed to release COVID-19 side effects and injury. This is all being done quietly, apparently, right? So let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen, and see what they're actually talking about here, okay? So let's check it out. So the CDC forced to release COVID-19 vaccine injury reports showing a range of serious side effects. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, has finally released data detailing people's experiences with COVID-19 vaccines following a court order. The data comes from the CDC's vSafe text messaging system, which is designed to monitor for potential vaccine side effects. They have long refused to share the data with the public, opting instead to simply publish studies of the reports that aim to reassure people the shots are safe. However, data released in 2022 showed that 8% of the system's 10 million users needed hospital care or medical attention following their vaccine, and many more had to miss work, school, or their usual activities while they dealt with the jab's side effects. Now, U.S. District Judge Matthew Kacsmaryk, I think that's how you pronounce it, a Trump appointee, ordered the agency to release the free text entries in which people were prompted to describe their experiences with the jab in their own words. The government unsuccessfully tried to block this, arguing that processing the responses and redacting private information would be too difficult, but the judge ruled that the information must be released. The free text part of the surveys was the only section where people could report adverse events, despite the fact that the CDC had known for quite some time that the jabs could cause heart inflammation, myocarditis, and pericarditis. So far, we have already seen the first two tranches, which are made up of 780,000 reports from now just over a million individuals. Not surprisingly, there are numerous reports of heart inflammation, seizures, tinnitus, facial paralysis, and miscarriages. Let's look at that one again. Not surprisingly, there are numerous reports of heart inflammation, seizures, tinnitus, facial paralysis, and miscarriages. Some people described experiencing allergic reactions, while others recounted extreme fatigue and loss of appetite. For several people, their symptoms were so bad that they thought about ending their lives. For example, one person wrote, "For 24 hours after the shot, I was so fatigued I could not stay awake. I also have some very strong suicidal thoughts. Zero appetite." Another wrote, "Loss of consciousness and seizure immediately following injection. Went to ER by ambulance," while a different patient noted, "Diagnosed with Bell's palsy today due to left-sided facial numbness and paralysis." Why did the CDC fight against releasing the data if the vaccines are so safe? The order to release the data was part of litigation on behalf of the Informed Consent Action Network. That's ICAN, ICAN, which stands for Informed Consent Action Network. All right. A nonprofit that has been pursuing the release of numerous important pandemic related government files. Excuse me. The fact that the group had to sue the CDC to share information that should have already been readily available to the public strongly suggests there is information in there that they were hoping Americans would not find out about. Imagine that. The National Vaccine Information Center president and co-founder Barbara Loe Fisher said ICAN had to sue the Centers for Disease Control in order to gain access to the COVID-19 shot V-Safe adverse event data, which is yet another shameful chapter in the decades-long history of federal health officials trying to cover up vaccine risk by ignoring patterns of vaccine reaction symptoms in reports made to the government. She added that when multiple people report the same symptoms, as happened here with problems like shortness of breath and heart palpitations, the CDC should be warning the public instead of trying to cover it up. It raises questions about what else government health officials are hiding, she added. The entries do not have dates on them, and the group is now trying to press the CDC to release the dates of the reports so they can determine how long the CDC knew there was a problem. However, it is known that the entries are the earliest ones the CDC received, and V-Safe was launched in conjunction with the vaccine rollout in late 2020. More entries will be released in the coming weeks on a rolling basis, and it will be interesting to find out more about what the CDC knew about these dangerous jabs and how long they denied it. All right. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. As we've been saying, more and more information is going to come out, but the damage has already been done to a lot of people. There's been a lot of people who took this vaccine that have died right afterwards, not too long after, sometimes days, sometimes weeks, sometimes within a few months. Right? And it's being covered up. And here they're trying to cover up the injuries that people were reporting to have happened to them. And like they say, there's going to be some more rolling out pretty soon. So you guys stay in tune and make sure you watch us and check us out. This is the Pandemic News Report. You guys let us know what you think. Be sure to share this out to other people. Let people know about what's going on in regards to the CDC, the COVID-19 vaccine, the injuries that have been reported, and the side effects as well. All right. This is the Pandemic News Report, and we thank you for coming in. We're out of here. Peace.
And now, here is your Pandemic News Report.